Okay, another attempt at making this video. Hello and welcome to whoever may see this video. This video is only meant for Park Rose Permaculture of YouTube, um, who I believe is all, or I believe the name is the same on Blue Sky. Recently, there was a post that Park Rose Permaculture had put on Blue Sky. Sorry, my throat is dry. Um, Basically, telling people how they can and can't consume the Epstein files, and I'm just putting it simply. She was a little bit more articulate, but given the fact that there's only so many characters in a post, how much articulation can you actually put, right? So that's not any fault of theirs, hers. I, she hasn't stated any other pronouns, so I'm going to assume she, but I'll stand corrected if need be. Anyway, she was basically putting out a um, post attempting to control how people consume the Epstein files, uh, which on one side, there are grifters making conspiracy theory videos, and I agree, don't consume those. Um, but there's also so many other, you know, ways people are consuming this information that I basically called her out for gatekeeping. Typically, people view gatekeeping as, say, anime, for instance. If you can't recite the entire lore and history of Goku and Vegeta in Dragon Ball Z, then you're not really an anime fan. That's gatekeeping. Um, they'll do the same with video games, tabletop games, uh, movies, series like say Star Wars or Star Trek. It's a form of gatekeeping that if you're not doing what I expect you to do, then you're not a part of the group. And Park Rose Permaculture was basically saying if you're consuming the Epstein files in a manner that I don't agree with, you're not doing it right. You're doing it wrong. And so I basically stated something along the lines, I'm on a Windows machine. I refuse to use Windows for logging into my accounts because of Microsoft, Bill Gates, the Epstein files, Peter Thiel. I can make a huge video, but I'm not gonna. Anyway, it was basically my comment was basically that she was gatekeeping, that I understood or that I get that um, it bothers her, you know, about the files, how they're being consumed. I don't think I defined it because I was limited to my character set, but basically, I also stated that I don't, who do we trust with the investigation? Like, seriously, who do we trust? We should be consuming the files as best we can so that we know when investigations happen, if hopefully when, that what they're telling us we already know and understand in the files. To which she replied back with another comment that I had made a reply to, stating that I clearly had struck a nerve. Um, I don't remember if it was that reply comment or the next one because she rapid fired three comments as a reply. And I had basically said that I clearly had struck a nerve. And so at some point, either before or after, she labeled me a misogynist by basically claiming I'm just like all dudes that are somehow claiming women are irrational and emotional. And I'm assuming over emotional because everyone's emotional in some degree. We're not robots. So I'm going to assume overly emotional, not just your standard anger, sadness that would typically be associated with something. Um, but I believe that she probably ran out of characters, didn't fit the word overly in, whatever. Um, and at no point my reply back came back saying that at no point did I even mention women. I didn't mention any gender. I didn't even say anything along the lines of you're being irrational or emotional. Never. Um, what I was trying to point out, but you couldn't hear or see, is that you don't get to say what people can and can't do with the Epstein files. The internet's gonna internet. It really is. Um, and as for the next video that I saw, you posted my comment with zero context and didn't tag me in the post, using it as an example of why we can't consume the Epstein files. And you further elaborate in your video that everyone's doing keyword searches and trying to do some kind of true crime episode, and you literally generalized everybody doing the things that you think they're doing. You never once asked me what I'm doing. You just assumed. And this isn't the first time you've made huge assumptions about the stuff that you talk about. So let me introduce myself to you if you take a moment to watch this. This is a computer, not the case or the power supply, from the late 90s. It's the first computer, again, not the case or the power supply, that I built. Pentium 2 350, 32 megs of RAM. I think it had a 10 gig hard drive with a ATI Rage Pro video card and a Voodoo add-on card. That's when I started my career in IT. 1997. I was on the internet back before even 1% of the population was on the internet. It's because of the internet that I got into my career of being in IT. And what I'm doing with the Epstein files is working with a group of individuals who will remain nameless through a secure infrastructure network that we have developed together to learn and combat how the technology that Peter Thiel, Bill Gates, many others who are in the Epstein files have used not only for their gain in controlling what we, the people of the world, see, but using it to identify we, the people of the world, who could be considered a threat. So to make an assumption that I'm sitting there at my keyboard in my living room or on my phone in my mommy's basement As I've seen comments, not yours, but comments from your followers, doing keyword searches and looking to find the gotcha moment and doing some true crime episode or generating some kind of conspiracy theory. That assumption is so absurdly false that it's equally as absurdly false as calling me a misogynist. You didn't ask. You didn't question me. You have no clue until now, which why would you? What I do for a living. Because you didn't ask. And I can already hear the comment, well, I can't ask everybody who talks. Great. Then don't reply to me. If you can't be bothered to ask the people that you reply to, don't reply. It's not on my shoulders to tell you who I am and what I'm doing to curb your assumptions. It's your job to not make assumptions and gather more information if you're going to engage with people. Which brings me back to the video you made about internet bots. While your statement of there's 51% of the internet is filled with bots is technically correct, it is structurally false. Because not only are not all the bots doing the same job, there's troll bots, scam bots, spam bots, ad bots, spiders and parsers. Those are included in the bots. Spiders and parsers just literally search the web for specific keywords like Dr. Pepper, video card, and then they produce a web of all those linked together so that when advertisers are trying to sell you that Dr. Pepper or the video card, here's other options to snag you into their web. Spiders and parsers are bots. They produce at least 20% of the 51% of the bot population that you quoted. And if you break all the different bots down into all the different subcategories what social media platform they act on, because not one bot interacts with all the social media platforms. They're geared for Twitter, they're geared for Blue Sky, they're geared for Reddit, they're geared for YouTube, they're geared for Twitch. When you break it all down, the likelihood of your viewers running into a bot is so substantially small, it null and voids your premise of your video because you made assumptions based on technology that you clearly don't understand. And that's fine. That's my job. Your job is elsewhere. And no, I don't mean because you're a woman. Your expertise lies elsewhere. You've taught me a great deal about, simply put, politics and how that side of things work. I wasn't big into politics. I voted. They would say, hey, this is what I'm doing for the country or the city or the town. And I'd say, yeah, I agree with that, and I'd vote for them. Because I was focused on my career, on my partner, on my pet, on my car, on building a garage, on going on vacation, on dealing with a company that got nailed with crypto locker. I was focused elsewhere, dealing with my life. So now, in 2015, I have a lot of catching up to do because now politics is being thrust upon me because I don't like what I see. In come your beam of sunlight, where you taught me the differences of these things. Uh, it, we get to we get to the most recent stuff, where I now know the difference between nonviolent protests and peaceful protests. I, I've, I've learned a great number of things from you in an area I have no expertise in, because that's my expertise. This is, wow, that box really fell. This is my expertise. This is my job. This is my job. I'm surrounded by this crap. More and more and more. I know what this does. That's my job. That's my expertise. The internet bots. That's my expertise. I've actually fought internet bots by helping develop technology to curb them. So when you come at me without asking and basically accuse me of things that I didn't do, accuse me of being a misogynist, that struck a nerve. And then when you made a video and posted my comment without context, sorry, I can't let that slide. Now, the one thing I know for a fact is you can't control what the internet does. I can't control, well, I mean, I can control the internet as far as on, off, and if I have web filtering set up, what websites you can go to. But in your sense, in your meaning, we can't control what the internet's going to do with the information that's in the Epstein files. There's going to be a small percentage of people who make conspiracy theories. There's going to be a small percentage of people that are keyword searching because they think that's how to do it. There's going to be a small percentage of every type of person doing how they feel they can consume the files. Don't generalize everybody into this one large assumptive block, because what I'm doing in the Epstein files is I'm tracking down how this technology was used against us, how it was used to benefit those subhuman predators. I'm working with people to develop protections against that, not only preparing for legal protections, but personal protections that you could load onto your computer. Now, I'm not the main leader. I'm but a small little part in the grand whole of things. But I probably shouldn't have picked up a screw. Anyway, I am just but a tiny cog in the big machine that is actively consuming the Epstein files to protect myself, you, all your viewers, and I don't appreciate you making videos generalizing and lumping everybody up into one chunk for something that you clearly don't have the technological understanding of what's going on. You did it with the bots, you did it with the Epstein files, you've done it with something else that I'm drawing a complete blank on. I would much rather watch your videos where you educate me, lift me up, instead of gatekeeping and pushing me down and all the others down. You did. Whether you want to admit it or not, you gatekeeped. It is a form of gatekeeping. Look up the definition. I shared it with you. You ignored it. When I called you out for basically calling me a misogynist, you doubled down and ignored that. Please don't do that. That ain't cool. You don't know me. You didn't take the time to even ask me. And what I'm going to do to help lift you up is if it comes to something technological, I'm extending an open invitation for you to reach out to me at any time. DM me on Blue Sky. I will give you my cell phone number. I will give you my email address. I will do whatever makes you feel comfortable so that you can reach out to me. And as a bonus, throwing this in for free. If I don't know an answer to your question about technology, I probably know someone who does. And if they don't know, they probably know someone who does. Because in my entire career, the whole thing, no matter your gender, no matter the color of your hair, how tall, how short, how wide, how narrow, no matter the color of your skin, your religious beliefs, your dress style, every single person that I have ever hired, ever trained, ever worked with, my goal is to get them to learn, to ask questions, to take correction, and to feel 100% free to correct me when I'm wrong or to question my choices. If I give them a task to do and they say, what is that going to resolve? That's my opportunity to share with them what it's going to resolve. That's my opportunity to educate them in what I know about. And they are presented with the same opportunity to educate me about something I don't understand or maybe thought I did. So, my extension to you is if it becomes something where you need technological knowledge, how it works, why this is such a problem, who's behind this, what can I do to protect myself from XYZ, I will do my very best to not lord anything over you, but to educate you. I owe you that. You've educated me on, I don't even know how many things I didn't know because I wasn't into politics. Now, thanks to the color, I was forced into it. We're going to build a wall and Mexico's going to pay for it. I was like, I'm going to build a race car and NASA's going to pay me for it. But who believed that? Anyway, I have a thing for orange somewhere. It's because I like the color, not because of McChuckle, but Mr. soils his underoos every 5 seconds. God, that picture's crooked. If someone yells squirrel, I'm the first guy that goes, where? So anyway, I suck at making YouTube videos. As you notice, I don't put out, well, I don't even know when the last time I put out content was. But we should be striving to work together instead of knocking each other down and telling people what they can and can't do. We should be educating people. And I know you think you may have done that, but when you labeled me a misogynist without even asking, come on, that was wrong. Ideally, I'd love an apology because, yeah, I could have worded it better about me striking a nerve, but I clearly did. And lashing out at people who are trying to correct you, that ain't a good look. I get it. It sucks to be, excuse me, corrected. Man. Yeah, it's Dr. Pepper. I get it sucks to be corrected, but we're all human. It happens. Get over it. I had to. It sucks. But seriously, let's come together. I'm not going to be making videos. Didn't even want to make this one. That's your shtick. What you're better at it than I am. Your shtick is also educating people about the things you've been educating people about. Stick with that. Because from my perspective, it really looks like you're rage baiting drama farming for views. And if I had to guess, I'd say it's because of whatever happened with your TikTok channels. Not accusing you of anything nefarious. I I understand where TikTok falls into this. I understand it all too well. So if you feel like replying, fine. I'm here. But let's not fight each other since we're both on the same page or side or same end goals. All right? Sorry for anyone who's watching this. Don't like, don't subscribe. Uh, Feel free to leave a comment if you want. It's up to you. Bye.